was sick of listening to people online say that two-strokes were unreliable. So I bought this little Trabant from all the way up in Aberdeen, and I'm attempting to drive it all the way back down to the East Midlands. I'm either going to prove them right, or we're going to prove them wrong. Stay to the end to find out.
Never sleeps, Valley of the Kings, there's nothing for me. Take me to the riverbank. Take me dancing, no romancing, 4 beats on the floor, give me more. Take me to the riverbank. And you'll never grow old there, ain't no one gonna care. You'll never grow old there, ain't no one gonna
Welcome to Svengal TV, and to understand this little Trabant, you need to understand post-war Germany. So after World War II, the Allies divided Germany into 4 sections. And they said, look, you ain't having all that land until you grow up. Now, this is the political equivalent of being put on the naughty step. Over here in the Soviet sector, in the east, there was a lot of women, a lot of moustaches, and a lot of women with moustaches. Meanwhile, in the American sector, they were busy trying to convince the world that they had invented the hamburger in a place called Hamburg. Up in the French sector, it was illegal not to own at least 4 baguettes and an old push bike. While over here in the British sector, it was full of geniuses and brilliant ideas. I think it's safe to say that when the Soviets took over East Germany, they wasn't particularly nice to the East Germans. But then again, if somebody had been shooting a f***ing rifle at me 20 months before, I wouldn't exactly meet him with open arms either.
I don't profess to be the most studious of blokes, all right? And most of my teachers would agree with that. Now, I did a little bit of research to try and work out what actually happened after the war. And it appears that Soviet Russia probably would have liked to make East Germany a communist state, which means everything is owned by the government, all right? But it was a little bit too near the West and they wouldn't have had any of that. We'll make it a socialist state. So I tried to work out the difference between socialism and communism. And that's not as clear-cut as you think, but it appears to me that if it's a communist state, the government own everything, you own nothing. And if it's a socialist state, you're allowed to own some things, as long as you don't look like you're enjoying yourself too much. There was a company called VEB Sachsenring. Now, they were making cars, and that was a private-owned company. And after the war, when the Russians took over, and it was a socialist state, from what I can understand, you weren't allowed to have big companies like that owned privately. So the East German government, which I wasn't quite sure how they even existed, you've even took over the country or you haven't. But anyway, the East German government at the time says, right, we're controlling this now, this is our company, and we need you to make something cheap, reliable, and ugly for the people. Actually, it's not ugly, is it? It's actually quite pretty. So they went to the engineers and they said, look lads, we've got hardly any aluminium, we've got hardly any steel, and we've got all money. Can you build us a car? So the East Germans, being the East Germans, known for their ability to do these things, because they're brilliant designers, they were like, yeah, we'll give it a whirl. And that's exactly what they did. And that's how this thing came about. Now you might think, oh, why did they put a 2-stroke engine in it? Well, because they were down on metals, they didn't want to have to make valves, and they didn't want to have to make cams and all that stuff. They just thought, let's just keep it as simple as possible. So they did.
And when I say simple, I mean this. This is a 600cc parallel twin air-cooled 2-stroke.
it inducts its fuel directly into the crankcase via 2 disc valves. Both cylinders share one carburettor. The reason being is because these guys weren't looking for speed, they were looking for economy. But crazily enough, the basic design of this engine just 10 years later would become a Grand Prix winner. It would also lead to mechanical espionage and eventually death. Now, if you understand the very basics of engineering, you'll know that this is not designed to drive from Aberdeen to the East Midlands. But let's give it a whirl. What have we got to lose? Actually, quite a bit. This is Martin, and he's just about to tell me that this thing has got a fuel leak and an electrical problem just above the fuel leak. Now, call me old-fashioned, but they're two things that I don't want to hear 450 miles from home. So, gents, what was you saying down here? Was it about the fuel or the electrics?
So that bit here is not connected, and because of that there's gonna be small leakage of the fuel. But before you connect it, there's need to be checked with the wires.
This is power, yeah?
Right, when you say leakage
Problem,
of fuel, what's
electrical
it?
problem, yeah?
What electrical problem though? Because we're a long way from home for an electric problem. What electrical problem do we have?
Jaki problem z tą elektryką?
No prąd nie dochodzi do tego urządzenia.
It's just not going through. Just to this part of the.
Ja nie miałem czasu się tym
But
zająć.
this is carburetor and gravity fed.
Yeah.
So this is just carburetor. So this doesn't need that pump, does it?
Nie potrzebuję tego, tak?
Nie. Do jazdy nie.
It doesn't need it, does
No.
it?
No.
So this car will start and run though, won't it
Yes.
now? And the lights will come on, and it's charging its battery.
I ładować będzie baterię, tak?
Wszystko jest okej,
Yes.
tylko że to jest
It's just that because it's
odpowiedzialne
not
za
connected,
paliwo.
it's controlling the fuel.
Right, but I thought these was gravity fed, so I didn't think that
Gravity, teraz jest
it's just gravity, just
grawitacyjne.
like a motorbike, isn't it? Petrol tank and carb, ain't it?
Yeah. Wszystko jest okej.
It's okay.
Yes, everything's
Are
okay.
you sure?
Yes.
It looks nice anyway, lads. It looks all right, doesn't it?
To jest wrap.
Yeah. I know it's a wrap. Is the old bird going to start? Should we push it out? Yeah, it looks all right. Bit of two-stroke.
This oil.
So you're using, that's part semi-synth.
Yeah.
Semi-synth's all right. We can use mineral with semi-synth.
This one.
It's just if it's fully synth.
A pół 5 liters.
Yeah. 5 litres.
1 do 50.
1 to 50.
Is that 5 litre? What are these beasts?
Kolektor.
Oh, it collectors inlet manifold or exhaust manifold.
Do czego dochodzi to jest?
Kolektor wydechowy.
Exhaust.
Exhaust, okay.
Look.
Okay, carb
New petrol.
at the side of the road. 2.8,
New.
212 mils.
Brand new.
Yeah, all the way
German.
from Germany.
Yeah.
New 40 years. Just never used.
Oh, this.
Yeah, that sounds yeah.
There's some extras.
Oh,
This.
I thought that was a gimp suit. Was it?
Co to jest jako pan?
Dętka do opony. Look.
You ain't gonna slip that on here. Is that the jack?
Yeah.
Fucking hellfire. When that starts up, I'll know straight away whether we've got a fucking fighting chance.
Instruction for...
Oh, now that is useful. That is useful. We're going to definitely need that.
Yeah, definitively something breaks up. Co tu paliwo się bać?
Tak. That's the petrol there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
8 litrów jest.
There's 8 liters in there.
Okay. Do we start it up?
Mogę.
I'm gonna open it. It's gonna
Yeah, open the door, yeah. Oh, you bastard. I wish I'd have put my coat on, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Okay, professional opinion, will this make it back? I've never heard of Trabant before, but I have heard a lot of two-strokes, and I'm going to guess no. Get the back to the I did say no. More choke? Is it supposed to be on reserve? Now usually we have another lad come with us that does the filming, but it's Christmas and he's away, so I asked my mate to do it. I mean, how hard can it be? Apparently, fucking difficult. Christ on a fucking bike. I can't see fuck all. I was expecting dim headlights, but Jesus. There's dim and then there's this. And these are fucking dim. I need to at least get a little bit down the streets and then collect my thoughts on it. So I've never seen headlights that dim in my life. Jesus Christ, the steering is vague to say the fucking least. Wow, this is absolutely overwhelming. I feel like I need the entire road to keep it in a straight line, and it seems to run warm as well. I can smell it already. And the one thing I do know is two strokes, and I know this old bird is running warm. It could be burning oil off its exhaust or anything. So I'm in top now, which I must say does feel a little bit better. But fucking hell, 50 mile an hour in this. He's trying to tell me I've got no lights on. I believe I have got the lights on, there's just nothing in the way of lights. And I managed to lose Chris, which believe me is not good. Yeah, where are you? Who the fuck is that guy? I went to the top. How can I lose you in this, you daft cunt? Ah, fucked if I know, but you're heading down, Chris. You should be. Shall I send you a pin drop? I'm gonna stop. Flash your light. Yeah, that's you, yeah. Yeah, come down. We're going to do about 20 mile if we can. I've got the sat-nav on. It's saying turn round, which I don't fancy this fucking hill, but here goes nothing. I've got no choice. video camera doesn't do it justice how scary this little bastard is to drive. In the fault that it's got no power, the headlight is literally a fag end, worse than a fag end. I don't even know what gear I'm in. I'm in fucking pray to God gear, that's what gear I'm in. Hey up, we seem to have broke down already. And I know exactly what it is. It's not because the car's broke down, it can't get up this hill because there's not enough fuel in the bastard tank. Tell you now, it's just because of that. I've got to get up here and get to a garage so that I can get some actual fuel, because the fuel's leaning back and it's not allowing for it. It's too much of a hill for this old bird. Saying go down this way. We're going downhill now. Looking more ways than one. Jesus Christ. I can tell you now, communism is not my thing, 100%. I'm anti-communist right from this moment. To say that this steering is vague is remarkable. I drove Land Rovers, old Land Rovers, with the steering all over the place, and this literally wipes the floor with them. I'm not even sure this steering wheel is actually attached. Oh, this hill is proving too much again. Yeah, we've got little to no hope with this old bird. I think it's capable of doing it, but I think we need more fuel.
Okay, so look, to explain what's happening, let's say this petrol tank, this is your petrol tank, and as we go, well, okay, so we've got the petrol tank and this spring onion, that's representing the fuel pipe. And as we go uphill, hang on, I've got to drink some of this petrol, give us a second.
I don't know how to turn off anything, or do anything. If I could get to the hotel tonight, I've got a fighting chance I can assist it, but we're going to really struggle like this. That's the choke. Seem to be slow and shit slow. It's definitely a fueling issue and it just can't handle these hills. I'm feathering it on the choke now to assist this. One thing I know for sure this video is not going to show how fucking scary this thing is to drive. I just want to get to the top of this motherfucking hill. Fucking camera's attacking me. Jesus Christ. I can't even watch that sat nav at the minute. I believe I'm going in the right direction. If it starts going now, we're at the top of this hill, we've definitely got to get some more fuel, which it is doing. And also, I need to take these sunglasses off. What the fuck am I doing with these on? I fucking just remembered I cannot see jack shit. Oh, fucking hell.
Dance, Cleopatra, dance. Dance, Cleopatra, dance. Your Egyptian style. Fill that chip while you're rocking the boat. Set those sails, man, we're cutting the rope. Dance, Cleopatra, dance. Dance, Cleopatra, dance. Your Egyptian style.
Well, we're just leaving the Travelodge at Browden Junction. I didn't lock it last night on the grounds that if anybody wanted to get in this car, they'd just rip that fucking door clean open anyway. It's made of plastic. I've got to stop swearing, I won't be monetised. I need all the monetisation I can get after this. You know, no joke. Definitely a bit starving of fuel. It's definitely got a slight early. I'm holding the throttle part on now, but the old bird does hold its revs a little bit, especially when you come to the lights. It's doing about 3,500 RPM. But to be fair, the old bird's starting like that without no choke this morning. That's pretty cool. That's a good sign that we've got some draw on the car. You need to wait for a big gap when you're pulling out, I'll tell you that. Here we go, as you can see we're in Stirling. Let's go. There's no fuel gauge in here, so we're sort of like constantly guessing. km/h, which is an experience, let me tell you. It's an experience when a lorry overtakes you, that's for sure. There's no fuel gauge in this thing. You just have to guess. What actually happens is you just end up pulling it nearly every service station you can see. You keep sticking another tenner in it or whatever. It's not the most economical, but 2-stroke 600, it's not going to be, is it? It ain't that bad though. I've had worse cars. Trabant uses a strange gearbox. Basically they're 4-speed, but the first 3 gears stay engaged when you deaccelerate. And 4th gear, when you deaccelerate, disengages, a bit like a rev and go scooter. And the reason that they've done that, it's actually very clever. Because what they wanted to do, when you're on deacceleration in 4th gear, so let's say you're doing 50 mile an hour, coming down a big hill or whatever, and you want to deaccelerate, well, on a 2-stroke, when you deaccelerate, it's getting no oil and no fuel, which would lubricate the bearings. So they've made it so that it disengages and goes back onto tick over when you're in 4. So it's actually really clever. When you think that the engine's a 1930s design, if you know your 2-strokes, you'll know that realistically they never started getting really what you would consider reliable till probably the 80s. you know, within reason. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no 70s ones that was right, but you're clutching at straws if you think they're as reliable as the 80s stuff. And obviously the 90s and that, they got obviously better again. But this is a 30s design, okay? Maybe released in the 60s as a car, the engine and the barrel and the port arrangements, the 1930s. That's fucking remarkable. These hills, okay, on a two-stroke, if a two-stroke's struggling up a big hill, and you're on a bike usually, bear in mind, and if you've got the throttle wide open, all you're doing really is putting more and more stress on the big ends. And you can obviously do a big end on there or seize them all. So in actual fact, when you're on a two-stroke and it's struggling up a big hill, you actually back off a little bit. And that way it'll give the engine a fighting chance, and that's what I'm doing on this. But obviously it's a bit of an off-right as how much you back off, and how much throttle you want to get up the hill. So yeah, you have to get a fine balancing point between the two. Some beautiful scenery around here. You don't get much chance to look at it when you're trying to keep this old bird in a straight line. I did a little research on the history of some of this, and the actual factory where these was made was about 20 odd mile from where the CZ was made, the motorbike company. And being as they was all making two-strokes at the time, I really like to think that maybe somebody like Walter Carden, the guy who basically invented the two-stroke expansion chamber, I really like to think that maybe he was in the nearby vicinity and they called him in to help out with the port arrangements and stuff. I don't know if any of that's true. It's a bit of a romanticised version, but it's a really nice thought to think of the genius himself participating. I don't know whether he did. Nice though. So obviously the original exhaust, the two-stroke expansion chamber in a different format, was actually invented to assist the fuel economy of, I believe, the V2 rocket. Now, he basically wanted to reflect some of the lost fuel that was going out the exhaust back in so it could reburn it, basically, okay? Now, in doing that, he basically invented an exhaust would be then later adapted to a bike. Now, in them days, obviously the Germans wanted to bomb the British. Now, let's not get bogged down with who killed who, all right? We're friends now. We're friends now, yeah? And we're going to talk about the amazement of some of the brilliant things that the Germans give us. Because let's face it, when it came to engineering, they was not messing about. Well, there was on this one, but other ones, I mean, there was absolutely fucking messing about on this. It must have been a Friday afternoon when they did the brakes. Oh, come on, lads. Let's go down, zip up. Yeah, that's the worst German accent ever. I'll take that out in the editing, don't worry, and I'll make it sound really good.
Now, as you can see, I'm struggling with the steering a little bit here, and we have ended up in the North Sea. But what's more miraculous than that is we've managed to make it all the way down here, out of Scotland, without becoming alcoholics.
Scotland has a real unusual feel about it, actually. You know, all the joking aside, it's actually a really friendly place. It really is. People are really nice, so helpful and stuff everywhere we've been. Although the travel lodge that we stayed in last night, that was a rip-off, because I had to book it online, which I did, and it automatically assumed a date that I didn't even pick. So I rang them back. Bear in mind, it was 26 quid for the room, that was all, that's fine. But I had to ring them back and say, well, you booked me on the wrong date. And then they charged me another 26 quid to change the booking. So effectively, I got charged twice for a mistake that really weren't mine. I was too tired to argue the toss last night, so I just went with it. I said, yeah, cool. But they won't be getting any sort of complaint from me because I'm English. To be honest, I can't be arsed. We all do a normal 9 to 5 work, and life just goes by, you know. You just spend your whole life just grinding, most of the time for other people. People who won't respect what you're doing, don't give a shit about you. Every now and again, you just take a little day out of the matrix, and you find yourself driving through Scotland and sitting here in a 60s two-stroke, you know. And it doesn't matter if it's like very fast or reliable, it's just a day out of the matrix. Sometimes, as a human being, that's what you need. Although last night, I felt like I was more in the matrix. I was saying to my mate this morning, the one thing that you probably won't get on the camera last night when I first drove this car, you know what it's like when you're driving in a place that you don't know and you're kind of like, you know, a bit all over the place anyway. Now add rain to that and night time and it can be even a bit more disorientating. I was in a left-hand drive two-stroke with no brakes, no steering, let me tell you. So I had all those together and it wasn't running very well and the brakes were sticking on last night. I didn't mention in the video because I didn't really know until I got it out and it started to free up a little bit. And the tyres was flat, by the way, which we pumped up since then. Bastard, every time a lorry goes past, my arse goes. I have enjoyed Scotland, but I am looking forward to seeing that we're in England. Not because there's anything wrong with Scotland, but I just feel like I'm a little bit more home then. And I still think that that's a good few miles away yet. I'll give you an update in a bit. Whee! Hard on them brakes. That's an emergency stop, by the way. I just did. That was it. Near at Old Trails. Shame that it does that, because other than that, it seems to run quite well. Sorry about that, man. There's nothing I can do. Somebody's pushing it off.
What's that?
It's a two-stroke, isn't it? And when you turn it off, sometimes it's got fuel in the exhaust. As it does it. I don't know if you've noticed, but every time you actually turn this car off, it lets out a hideous bang. You can't probably hear it on there as good as we can. It's like a gunshot. A big gun of that. Cannon. So this lad's just jumped out his skin on this little car on the side. Did apologise to him, he seemed like a decent man actually. problems of being on the road, you end up eating a load of rubbish. But these ain't rubbish, this is good. Come on, speed. Coming into England. Beautiful. For some reason, that's only 100 metres or so from that sign, but just being in England makes me just feel that we're sort of on another stretch of the journey now, do you know what I mean? This feels a little bit better, just to be in the same country. I know it's only psychologically, but it'll do me at the minute. The last thing you want to see in a Trabant, a 1 hour, 27-minute traffic jam. This old bird will not enjoy that. Obviously I can turn it off, but then that happens. I shit myself and so does everyone else. Just going to gaffer tape the sat-nav to the dash, which is also my phone, because it's going everywhere and it's difficult to read that while doing everything else. Who says men can't multitask, ladies? Grandmaster at multitasking. Beautiful. Apple's going to be contacting me about this dash holder that I've made. No doubt. One thing I've been considering is that the heater in the car, right, if we can call it a heater, one thing I do know is that having the heater on is helping bleed off some of the heat on the engine. So, because that heat's got to come from somewhere and it's coming from the engine. So if it's dragging that heat and it's dragging it into here, then obviously the temperature of the engine can be a little bit cooler. There'll be somebody in the comments denying that. Oh no, it's not. Don't work like that. Yes, it does. Shut up. But don't get me wrong, you keep commenting. I like the comments. I like to read them. Got my Eastern European hat on. Put another 20 quid in that, so yeah, what we at, 100 boys? One thing I know about driving this car already, before you actually start moving, anything you want, you need to have it near where you are, because driving it while trying to find those things is an impossibility. That's exactly what I wanted. That's the turmeric recovery. It's all a man needs when he's driving a Trabant. Some turmeric, whatever that is. Got to join the motorway again in a minute, which will mean full bore for about 20 seconds in a hope that we can achieve the speed that everybody else is going at, which we won't be able to. absolutely love being behind this Trabant. I can see the glee on their faces. One thing I have noticed is periodically the blow off from behind the dash is just blowing up these little pieces of plastic. Probably been banned in every country as well. But nobody knows what they are. They're only hitting me in the face, so it's okay. All the bikers will know this, they've had multi-cylinder two-strokes. One of the tests what you can do is pull your clutch in and rev your bike to see how clean it revs. So if they're developing any problems, you'll pull your clutch in, you put your head sort of down near the engine, and you rev it, and you see how clean it sounds. I can't really do that on this. You can do it, but you can't really hear it as clear because of the rattles and the wind noise. So it doesn't give you the same feedback. I've done it a couple of times where I press the clutch in, see how it's reacting underfoot. You know, from the biker days of doing it on a multi-cylinder stroke or maybe an RG5 or a 350 LC or something. And I'm doing it on this and it's giving me a little feedback, but so much is lost in transition of the actual car and the wind and everything that you can't really get the feedback from it. So we're sort of flying blind. I'm feeling it underfoot still on the throttle, but there's a lot less feedback than what there would be on a bike that you could pick up on. Fingers crossed, people. I mean, the thing is about this is we're on a modern motorway, okay, which is terrifying. But you've got to bear in mind that the only thing this was designed for, or the only reason people had them for, was so they could go to the shops that might be 15 mile away just to get some goodies so they could get over the Berlin Wall and escape. So that's all he wanted one for. So you waited 10 years to get your car and then you just devised a plan to get over the wall using it. I don't know how true that is, but I imagine on a lot of people it bloody well is true. Okay, so this question's to all you Trabant experts out there. I'd like to know if when fitting an expansion chamber on this thing, whether the twin pipes are better or the singles are better, 2 into 1 or the twin expanders. If anyone knows and has actually got any real world experience of it, not just what they think, I want real world experience. Leave a comment and let me know. And also, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel for more Trabant adventures and other adventures. According to the sat-nav, I'm coming up to an island in about 6.5 miles. So I need to start thinking about braking within the next mile or so. Prepare myself. Trust me when I tell you, this video will not do the brakes on this thing justice. I'm sure all Trabant brakes are bad. I'm sure that unless they've had a disc conversion. I think even by Trabant standards, these are bad. I don't know. Oh, another thing as well. I've done about 100 miles, and so far I've put 60 quid in the old bird. I've stopped 3 times, and I put 20 quid at a time in. So I put 60 quid to 100 miles. There's probably a load of people out there saying, oh no, he's not used that much fuel. Yeah, I fucking have. 100% I have. And also, we've got 337 miles left. Now, I didn't do very well at school with maths, and I don't think you have to be Albert Einstein to realise what that's going to equal. It's fucking expensive. That transit behind, it took 70 quid to get it, and we put another 70 in it to get it back. And this is already, you know, almost took over that. And when I pull into this garage now, we'll be on 80 quid. Yeah. I thought communist states was all about having no money and everyone living on a breadline. I know fuel was a lot cheaper then, but Christ, what were they doing? Brewing their own? I'm gonna hideously start braking for this thing. I'll probably fly past the pump and then I'll just have to pick the pump next to it. Okay, yeah, this is kind of embarrassing as well as, and it's got that £3 tick over that you can hear now. I'm assuming it's £3, it's revving its bollocks up anyway. It's alright though. Nothing I ain't heard before on a little old stroker.
Now, we've managed to get past Newcastle upon Tyne without breaking out into a fight with Socrates and his dad. We've gone past the Arabic state of Rotherham, and this little car hasn't so much as whiskered a spark plug, and is still going strong. Now, originally I was kind of hoping that it would just conk out somewhere near, well, actually in Aberdeen, and get it trailered home. But the damn thing's keeping going, and now I've got to the point where I'm sort of willing it on.
When you're driving this old bird, you can have the heater on. It feels like you're in a gas chamber. Not a gas chamber. A thing. Fuming place. Oh, definitely not a gas chamber. A bit on the dashboard here, it says in a black thing, Unterhaltung mit dem Wagenfahrer ist nicht gestattet. I have no idea what that means, but surely it doesn't say beware of the hideous steering. What could it say? Sure somebody would be able to speak German who could translate it in the comments after my astounding attempt at it. Trying to work it out. Unterhaltung. Halt, but that would mean stop. Understopping with a wagon Führer, a wagon leader. I wonder if it says when pulling a trailer. Wagon Führer. Well, Führer's leader, isn't it? We all know that. Let's not go into any details why we all know that. We all know that. Wagon Führer, so car leader. Wagon is car, like Volkswagen, people's car, isn't it? Wagon leader. So Unterhaltung mit dem Wagenleader is night. What's that? Is that N-I-C-H-T? Night. Always sounds like you're being angry in German, doesn't it? Might be telling someone you love them, but it's just like they shit themselves when you do it. It's night. Sorry about that. Ist nicht gestatten. Oh, I'm really interested to know what that means. Gastatten. That sounds a bit like gaskets, but it wouldn't be that. With the wagon leader is the... Hello. I'm not going to attempt that German again because you know what I sound like. Let's not go into details. I think we all know what I sound like.